Hey YouTube, this is Bill. New speaker here to review. And if you follow some of my last videos, I like to review speakers that are budget friendly. So this speaker was recently compared to a top speaker that everybody knows, and that is the QSC K10.2. The difference is that's a $900 speaker. This speaker is $510. And the fact that the reviewer, it was a professional reviewer, you can look it up online. They said the JBL EON710 was right behind it. Very competitive. Of course, it doesn't have the 2,000 watts as a QSC K10.2, but it's close, and that's pretty impressive for $510. So this speaker has things that the QSC doesn't have, and one thing that stands out in my mind is Bluetooth. So Bluetooth, and it is the latest Bluetooth 5.0. I've tested it at a long distance. It's really amazing technology. You can walk across the park 30, 40, 50 feet away and you still have no dropouts. It's really great. Another great thing about this speaker is the app. I'm not going to go over that right now. It's the same app that the Mark II uses, and I've done a video on the Mark II. So if you're interested, it's the same exact app, and it's an excellent app. It has a 8-band EQ, which is very impressive. It has a throughout, which you can use for another auxiliary speaker, which you would hardwire, or a subwoofer. Again, not Bluetooth sending, but hardwired. And again, the app is not available on QSC. So this is definitely a more modern technology piece. It just doesn't have the performance as a more professional speaker as the QSC line. So this is more of maybe your beginner DJs, people who are looking for a mobile speaker. And what I'm using it mainly for is for an auxiliary speaker. So I can run this as a second speaker from some of my systems I own. This speaker has 110-degree dispersion, which is pretty unusual for a point source type speaker. For example, my K8.2, an 8-inch speaker, does 105. So the smaller the speaker usually has more dispersion. This is a 10-inch speaker, and it puts out 110 degrees. So that's an interesting selling feature. Specs-wise, JBL is claiming 125 dB. Again, those are in special situations from 1 meter. With my own testing, I found it gets pretty loud, over 100 dB. It is not quite as loud as its nearest competitor, which is the QSC CP8, but it stays very clean at volume. And with that EQ, you can really tailor the sound. It is a 10-inch speaker, so it has good bass. I always recommend a subwoofer. The bass is incredible. I believe it goes down to 50-something hertz, 52 hertz, which is pretty good. But still, I recommend a sub with this speaker. Physically, as you can see, this isn't a small speaker. Matter of fact, it's a lot bigger in person. It weighs a little over 26 pounds. So again, that's not so light anymore. It's kind of what I consider middleweight. I really don't want to go too much heavier for a mobile speaker. But the downside is it has a handle on the top, but there is no side handle. And I really think JBL missed the boat by spending a little more money on that plastic handle. When you go to the 12-inch, the EON710, they do have the side handle, but for some odd reason, they deleted it here. So it makes it very hard when you want to put this fairly heavy speaker, 26 pounds, on a highest setting on your pole. Eventually your arm just can't reach the top anymore, and you have to manhandle it from the side. So that is definitely a downside. And when you read other reviewers online, many people mention the lack of the side handle. This speaker is AC only, meaning there is no built-in battery like your Mark II. So, but the good news is I've tested it on an external power source of 300 watts. You could probably even do less, but it doesn't draw a lot of power. I think the most I was drawing at good volume was under 50 watts. So for under $300, I can link the power source I use. This can be a battery system. You really spend a lot more when you have internal battery. So for example, the Mark II is $1,200. This is a little over $500. And the performance of this speaker is, as far as mids and high end, especially with that same app, it's as good as the Mark II or better. The difference is the Mark II has a much nicer bass because it has a separate dedicated subsection. So that's where the difference is. But you're really spending quite a bit more for the internal battery, which probably isn't necessary if you're willing to carry one more thing and spend a little more for the external battery power. Again, the one I use is called Grant Maya from Amazon, and I'll set the link down below. Has a nice visible LED screen. It's a 2-channel mixer, very basic. There's your pass-through XLR, which is nice. For some reason, the Mark II has a 1/4-inch pass-through, and here they have something more professional, the XLR, which I prefer. So it's very easy to operate. Everything is right there, but once you have your app set up, I think that's even easier. That's what I've been using. Of course, using this through a mixer will give you even better performance, but straight from Bluetooth, I'm very happy with the sound. I'm gonna play a short sound demo, and let's see what a $500 speaker can do in this day and age. Technology has really come a long way. JBL has upgraded their drivers from their past 600 series. So this sounds really nice. I have added a little EQ, and that 8-band EQ, you can really tailor it to the way you prefer. Okay, here's our sound demo. A negative for many people would be the fact that this unit doesn't have reverb. I'm kind of surprised because the app is really good. I don't know why they left out reverb, so that could be a factor for many. Also, the power switch is a soft pressed, so you have to hold it only for 1 second to come on, but to turn it off, you have to press and hold for 3 seconds. So I don't know, that could be a plus or a minus in some people's book. I kind of prefer the traditional rocker switch. A plus on the app is the pass-through that you see here. If you connect an auxiliary speaker or a subwoofer, on the app it has a mute function, which is not common for other units. And I really like that feature. It helps me blend 2 speakers together where I can mute it instantaneously, and then I could see how one speaker sounds without the other, or how they sound together with the press of a button. So that's a really positive feature in my opinion. Pretty nice, huh? The highs were clean, the mids were there, and it has some nice lows also. Anyway, I think you can't do much better in this price range, but there are speakers out there in competition. Some of you who have seen my previous videos know I also have reviewed the QSC CP8, which is in the same price range. And the IP Turbo Sound IP300. So that will be the next video, a comparison video of these three, which is the budget champion. They're all excellent, but they all have a couple of different features, so video might help people decide. But if you have a JBL product like the PRX1 or the Mark II, like I do, this makes a great auxiliary speaker because, like I've mentioned before, it's on the same app, the Pro Connect app. So pretty amazing. This is a huge step up. I want to emphasize again, huge step up from something like the Bose S1 Pro, which is a $650 speaker, or the Bose Compact. Again, those are battery-powered, internally battery-powered speakers, so you're paying for that. But also in the JBL line, you know, their party line, the Party Box 110, which I own, this is at a much higher level speaker, but it's not quite a professional gigging speaker. It's in the budget category. But for my needs and for many other people who are hopefully watching this video, this speaker really performs. Okay, hope you enjoyed, and keep your eyes open for that comparison video coming up. This is Bill. Later.